Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News, the show. Look at this background. What is happening here? It's wild. It's getting wild up in here. Today in the news, EA has plans. So many plans. In a business call to investors yesterday regarding quarterly earnings, EA execs had a lot to say about a lot of things. The most surprising, yet somehow completely obvious, is the fact that now 71% of EA's revenue is coming from live service games. Now, this could be one of those chicken and egg situations. Did the fact that EA went so heavy into live service mean that their revenue now comes mostly from that? Or is the fact that revenue is so high on live service that they decided to push more that way? Maybe it's one of those cyclical, self-fulfilling things. I don't know. Either way, we also once again learned that everyone there is still disappointed, like we all are, with Battlefield 2042, but that things are looking up, and right now around 2,000 concurrent players have been active since the big fix in April. When asked about their commitment to the game and if it had changed following the poor showing, Andrew Wilson said, "This is one of the great franchises of our industry, built by one of the great teams in the industry. And our expectations are it's going to continue to grow and be a really important part of our portfolio for many, many years to come." Now, obviously, many years to come with 2,000 players concurrent at this point seems like a stretch, but they have for some time been trying to create a connected Battlefield universe, spanning multiple titles and interconnecting characters and stories, and what that means for what FPS players really care about, the more combat-focused parts of the game, I have no clue. EA also announced a new major IP coming in 2023, as well as a remake that I think might be Dead Space, I'm not sure, and the final FIFA game. That's right, they are ending their partnership with FIFA after 20 plus years and going their own way in the future. And I'm sure we'll have more news on that as we get it. While we're on the subject of investor calls, Nintendo had theirs this week as well, and it was translated by the folks over at VGC, and there's some interesting tidbits about future consoles. On the call, Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa said the company is trying their hardest to alleviate the risks involved with resetting its 100 million plus player base with a new console generation. They want to create a long-term relationship with its users. According to the article in recent history, Nintendo followed up its big success with the Wii, 101.6 million sold, and DS, 154 million sold, with the significantly less popular Wii U that sold 13 million and 3DS that sold 75 million. And Furukawa said the company is mindful of these experiences. The question of whether we will be able to just smoothly transition from the Nintendo Switch to the next generation of hardware is a major concern for us. Based on our experiences with the Wii, Nintendo DS, and other hardware, it is very clear that one of the major obstacles is how to easily transition from one hardware to the next. Back in February, there was talk of backwards compatibility on the next console, so maybe that's what he's getting at? And that makes me very curious about what you think. Why do you buy a new console? Why move from a PS4 to a PS5? Why get an Xbox Series X, right? Why transition? Is it the graphics? Is it the new games? Is it the availability of those games? Maybe they don't make them for PS4, right? The new Arkham game, they're talking about it only being PS5 and Series X, right? Does it matter to you that when Nintendo finally releases a new console, it's always a little graphically and technologically behind the other consoles? Do graphics and that kind of stuff matter to you? Or is it about the games it provides? Would the backwards compatibility work for you? Does any of it even matter? I don't know. I'd love to hear what you think. Speaking of things that matter to me, and hopefully to you, patreon.com/Jesse Cox, where people like Natsuki Bestdoki, Peter Ratzliff, and Chris hang out. Thank you so much for another episode. It's been a blast. You guys are amazing. As always, thank you for the comments and the suggestions for articles and the thumbs up and the shares and the subscriptions. All of that means the world to me. That's it for 5 Minute Gaming News. I'll see you tomorrow.